Yeah, I'm reshooting this video. It was had a really hard shift. Not as bad as the horrific shift I was talking about a couple weeks back, but the same unit. But that night I had like 9 patients. Tonight I had 7. Last night, excuse me, I had 7. But it was still like those 9. It was like I think 6 out of 9 were hard. So it was like really hard. And even though I had friends help out, it was hard. I had 7 last night, and maybe 3 or 4 of them were hard, so it wasn't as bad. I actually finished charting really easy. You know, my normal stuff was fine, but you know, the hard ones kept going code browns, let's say. You know that just it kept going over and over, so we had to deal with that. It was a lot of neediness, a lot of support, emotional support, a lot of neural stuff. You know, people, you know, once you start into the business, you'll understand that it just becomes a lot of emotional drain, a lot of emotional strength that you need to have and give to your patients. It was very draining, you know, and then physically it was very draining. So it was just a rough shift. Only silver lining was that it was updates. So the morning nurse, the day nurse was the same as the one that gave me report. So we just handed off. She was, you know, she and I are I think we're pretty cool now. At first time I worked with her. Actually, I worked with her as when I was a tech, and didn't quite mesh very long, but very well. But we were, you know, I was very professional. I think she respected that. And then I became a nurse, and she was like, "I know you from somewhere." And I was like, "Yeah, I used to be your tech." You know, and then we were colleagues, and she was okay with that. And then she was, "Oh, okay." I didn't give her any attitude. I was still very conciliatory to her. Most of the time, I'm very deferential to people. I don't care. Like I said, not much of an ego. I don't care. So we get along good because of that. I guess I'm a pushover, whatever. But so it was very good bantering back and forth. We had a handoff because there was some developments I had to tell her. It wasn't just pure high five. I have one friend that he's the same age as me, basically. We joke, we're the old men of the unit, and I tell him I aspire to be you. Just, you know, the guy he's been there so long that he just doesn't have to be charged, doesn't do a lot of the stuff that most other nurses are expected to do. Take your turn. And I'm like, no, I don't want any of that responsibility crap. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't like that either. And I was like, yeah, we just do our stuff. Let them have the glory. I really don't care. He's like, yep, I don't, you know, he and I have the same mindset. So we just kind of high five each other because we both research ourselves on the patient. We come in, he and I both come in really early and do our research, do our reading, and fill up our own SBARs. And then when we give or get report, it's with each other. It's just the highlights of what's not on the computer. You know, we might say, yeah, this. Yeah, I got that. And it's like, okay, this is not on the computer. This is not on Epic. This is what we need to know. You know, and that's the stuff that it's hard to put into the records, and it's the nuances of taking care of the patient that you need handoff. This is what you need to do. You know, and it's hard. You know, it's like a picture's worth 1,000 words. Storytelling sometimes it's good. I mean, it's not that he's a storyteller. No, I'm the storyteller. I do storytell. Blah 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 blah. Obviously, it's just that he and I both understand we want what's not readily available. Because what's readily available, you should be taking it down yourself. I don't care. And that's today's the nurse I gave and got handoff with last night. We started early. I got her out of there early. Same thing with me today. She's like, go home. It's okay. I got it. And I said, okay, thank you. Bye. No problems. So hopefully you get to the point where you're comfortable comfortable giving report with your coworkers. But it's if there's a main idea or thesis for this video, because I'm just really ranting and venting because it was a really tough shift. But SBAR is really important. That's one thing I wish I studied more in school and practiced more in school. Because that was the one thing I had a hard time with. My preceptor said, she liked everything about me because I absorbed everything she taught like a sponge, but I had trouble, and I still do, because I like storytelling. I like telling people stuff. I like, hey, do this. I'm doing this on freaking YouTube, without even being asked. So I'm volunteering this stuff. But the thing is, as a nurse, you don't have time for that. Hurry up, get to the point, Ray. So here I have lots of time to do it, and you guys can just click away. But as the nurse getting a report from me, you gotta have to sit through my stupid dad stories or whatever. I don't do that, but I'm saying, you gotta get into that groove of knowing what the other nurse wants, because it's different. I've done a number of videos. I haven't posted them, but certain nurses want certain things, and there's an old guy on the nurse in our unit, that is same age as me, and we are very much on the same wavelength. So it's easy to give a report back and forth. But there are younger nurses, fresh nurses, newbie nurses. They're going line by line, and I let them do that because it's good practice for them. And then there are old nurses. And I don't mean by age when I say that. I mean veteran nurses have been there. They could be 25, been there 7 years, for all I know. They are, we have a couple nurses like that. And like 28, and been there 7 years. And they're like, get to the point, right? They're literally, come on, what? So you kind of learn to give report as you go along, and you have to adjust your style. You don't have to adjust your style. You could just be whatever. I would say the majority of nurses still give report however they give report. Damn you, and a lot of nurses complain. They're like, oh my God, XYZ's giving me a report. It's going to take forever. Or XYZ's, ABC's giving me a report. I don't know anything after they give me a report. Or whatever. They're like, they're rambling. That's me. I'm sure a number of people are like, oh, geez, Ray's giving me a report. It's not going to be done until 8, I try to be quick. I mean, honestly, we were done maybe 10 minutes, not even. And even, I didn't get out of there until 7:25, and that's because we took a break in the middle. I helped another patient, and she started a little late. But that's okay. But other than that, it's something you should work on, SBAR. If there's something, if I had to pick something that I would suggest you pay extra attention to, it's SBAR, giving it, practicing it. Not so much paying attention, but giving it. So you get used to it, and you develop your own style that's different than the textbook, but at least you get comfortable doing it. Okay? Good luck.